Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another video. Welcome back to another day of absolutely intense cryptocurrency news. I do hope that you're all having a great day. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be, I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. A very big thank you to everyone out there who leaves a like on the video, and everyone out there who leaves a comment every single day to help out with the channel's algorithm. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. We are currently in a really weird digital tug of war. Bitcoin is currently the cryptocurrency being most accumulated by cryptocurrency companies, etc., etc., etc. However, a number of coins are also beginning to make the news as well, which I personally am finding quite interesting, just because I don't personally know if people have, if companies and corporations are seeing Bitcoin's price and they're just assuming that other coins mathematically are going to outpace Bitcoin, or if they have actual conviction in these coins, or whatever the actual case might be. We're seeing a lot of pop-ups recently for my coin is much better than yours kind of thing. So this should be absolutely no surprise. It says Ether has staged a comeback to become one of the best performing digital assets over the past few months. We have had a hefty sprinkle of news as of late regarding Ethereum and companies who are buying it, new treasury companies, new strategic companies, and apparently there's a difference between them. We've had multitudes. We've had new companies being started. We've had acquisitions. We've had crazy price predictions. You might remember the guy talking about if everything goes off without a hitch, if all the companies and the banks begin to create their stable coins on top of Ethereum, he was expecting, I assume, not this cycle. He's expecting a $1.5 million Ether, and the stories go on and on and on and on. Galaxy Digital's MAKEOVER expects the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap to outpace what it calls its big brother Bitcoin over the next few months due to a combination of bullish factors. Here we go again. We have re-entered the cycle of the flippening, as it is called. I mentioned this months ago because we had one article talking about it. Historically, every bull run, every crypto bull market, there tends to be the narrative being pushed that Ethereum is better than Bitcoin, that it's thisser than Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will eventually become the number 2 coin. And it looks like we're currently in that soup of some sort, sitting on the stove, with everyone now believing, and I mean, it does make sense, but everyone now believing, because if you didn't see, first of all, everyone now believing, there we go, that Ethereum is going to double, triple, quadruple, fourdruple in price over the coming months. It has to do with this news that we've been getting about these companies who are putting tens of millions and $1 billion into buying Ethereum. There's not a lot of Ether left. And it looks like they're basically trying to buy all of it and create a gigantic supply shock, which would then logically cause prices to rise. Novogratz highlighted the growing trend among public firms treating ETH not as a speculative asset, but as a core part of their balance sheets. I assume this is a runoff from the 900 companies with Bitcoin, everyone seems to be throwing their hat into the ring, saying that their coin can essentially do it better. He said, and I quote, "The narrative of Ether is really powerful. And now we have not just one, we have two major treasury companies and another coming. They're raising capital every day and buying Ether." I think we currently have, 4 or 5 companies who have openly stated that this is why I said there's some sort of a difference between a treasury and a strategy. So we've had multiple companies announcing that they're going full force into Ether, but some of them, I guess, don't count in that 2 to 3 that he's currently counting. He said, and so there's not a lot of supply of Ether. Yeah, there never really was. Just a lot of the attention was on Bitcoin. The other issue that ends up being is that there was already not a lot of Bitcoin. I think a lot of these coins, there's not a lot of them in general. And we were talking about the Litecoin, for those of you who missed it. There's a company talking about they're going to be making a Litecoin, strategy, treasury kind of thing. And they're putting $100 million into it. What happens is, in the most realistic terms, over the course of a coin's span of it being released, adoption does happen behind the scenes. It's just that the general public doesn't usually see it, or we might not even get news about it. What we do tend to get are the on-chain analytical companies releasing news every now and again. Cardano whales are draining cryptocurrency exchanges. One wallet address just bought $38 million worth of Litecoin. That kind of thing. But if you have this news every 3 months, 2.5 months, 148 days, it's not going to really be on the radar. A really clever way to make sure that people aren't paying attention is you have another company buy $138 million worth of Bitcoin, and at the exact same time, you and your rich friends, you buy $500,000 worth of Litecoin every single day, like literally every day. It'll be there, but it'll never actually get onto the radar as long as you keep having companies talking about we're buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. So now we have this big money flowing towards Ether as well. So it's also making the news. But don't forget the companies who are like, we're buying Solana, we're buying Binance Coin, we're buying so-and-so. Like, the big money's always there. I have to make sure that everyone keeps this in mind. Like, there's a reason why these coins aren't at zero and they keep going up in price. Like, big money really wants these things as well. It says, but the title of the largest ETH corporate holder now belongs to Bitmine Immersion Technologies. Helmed by renowned Wall Street strategist and FundStrat co-founder Tom Lee. This guy's rich. This guy's wealthy. He's always in the news, buying a new company. He just got like 10 to 15% of some other. This guy is rich. Tom Lee is ridiculously rich. Jeez Louise. Apparently, his company, Bitmine, has accumulated 300,000 Ether as of publication time, valued at around $1.12 billion US. Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I still think something's going on. I'll repeat that until something is not going on. But this energy towards all these coins coming out of nowhere and people actually buying as much Ethereum as possible to make sure that there's none left. They're the only people who are going to be able to create it through the protocol, and therefore they're going to be able to also deem if they're selling any or not. Like, actually, they will control the supply, if any, that actually ends up hitting crypto exchanges. That's the rich people buying up tons of crypto news. And yeah, let's move on. Also this is what they've been doing. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission has apparently postponed their decision on Grayscale's Solana Trust ETF, setting a new deadline of the 10th of October. There's that month again. A lot of the ETF applications, I don't know how they keep doing it, a lot of the ETF applications have been pushed to September, October, and that apparently is like the deadline. The deadline. If you missed it before, we have had, for whatever reason, a healthy number of analysts as of late who have announced that September and October are meant to be the months where the cryptocurrency market absolutely goes completely insane. I assume they're coordinating that news on the idea that thus far, the US SEC has postponed everything. Every single ETF that we were talking about, and once again, and I don't know how they're able to push it back this far. Everything from November, December, and January, around June, July, the SEC was like, push it back further, and they extended the deadline. September, October is meant to be the golden time when all of this is supposed to actually be pushed through. So I saw people talking about the Solana one, and I was like, it's not that deep. They've literally been doing this to every single cryptocurrency ETF over the last couple of months. Hopefully, some of them get pushed through eventually. And even right now, unless something has changed, I think they allowed or gave the thumbs up to the grayscale, like multi-coin one that had Bitcoin, XRP, Cardano, yada, yada. But they also delayed allowing them to even launch that. I assume from a first world perspective in finance, I assume the delays actually have to do with someone who's very rich behind the scenes being like, oh, that's cool. Well, you're not going to have it right now because they need more time to accumulate. That's the only thing that goes through my head, because realistically, as the SEC, if you have all this paperwork, you would simply just hire new people. You would hire more people to make sure that, you could deal with all of this. There's no real reason to kind of kick it down the road months at a time. So yeah, it says the delay allows more time to review the fund's proposed listing on the New York Stock Exchange ARCA amid rising spot crypto ETF applications and regulatory challenges. That's a lie. There's no real, the SEC has given us over the course of this year, I think, an adequate amount of regulation that we didn't have before. All this is just simply, I think, delaying for larger companies. But yeah, this will more than likely get pushed through. It's grayscale. We would have heard some kind of negativity from the SEC regarding Solana being a security. That hasn't happened. It's just a waiting game at this point. That's the SEC Grayscale Solana ETF news. And yeah, let's move on. Also all right, okay, well, I guess that's just where we are as a society at this point, because this is also, I told you, we keep hearing like new altcoins being proposed as treasuries or strategies, and I really think everyone's just trying their best at this point. The Ton Foundation, yes, the Ton Foundation has announced plans to partner with a company called Kingsway Capital Partners to create a new Toncoin treasury company. See, it sounds like a joke, but it's not. Toncoin, being the coin from Telegram, the texting app, tried to launch, I believe, in 2019 or 2018 or 2020, somewhere around there. And the US SEC was like, no, you can't do it. And I assume it had to do with a billion things. Who the fudge knows? So they kind of scrapped the entire project, or it just wasn't launching, or it just wasn't there. 2 to 3 years ago, they said, okay, we're going to try it again. They rebranded from the Telegram Open Network coin to just simply ton. And I guess here we are. So now we have, or are going to have, a Toncoin treasury company, a Binance coin treasury starting Litecoin, Solana, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin. I think I remember hearing about a Cardano one, but that might have just been dust in the actual air. But yeah, I think everyone's just kind of trying stuff. It's not that ton isn't popular, but from the investments that I would make personally, if I had several millions of dollars, I would probably personally just, choose other coins. It says the joint entity is set to raise up to 400 million US dollars. Yes, 400 million US dollars to advance the company's Toncoin treasury operations. Right. So whenever you hear me say like, hey, isn't it interesting that these companies are throwing this much money into these coins? That's what I mean. That 400 million could have gone into Bitcoin, Ether, XRP. It could have bought an enormous amount of real estate, land, new build property, you name it. So whenever I see something like this, I'm like, is it conviction or does someone know something that we are not privy to? According to reports, there we go. The entity will treat TON as a core financial reserve, mirroring strategies seen in other layer 1 ecosystems. Instead of holding dollars or bonds, the treasury will store TON tokens instead. This shows emphasis on long-term digital asset value. According to sources who know about the deal, the funds will come from a private investment in public equity, PIPE. However, for this plan to work, investors buy shares in the new company at a lower price before it goes public. Analysts suggest the PIPE structure could enhance TON's liquidity and price stability, particularly if the Treasury adopts long-term holding strategies to mitigate market volatility. I think at this point, I can't really think of another coin who's like missing. I feel like even with this one, oh, actually, no, that's definitely a lie. Did you see that apparently they're trying to launch a Pengu ETF? PENGU, the NFT turned, what do you call it? If you don't pay attention at all on Twitter to Pengu, this thing has literally taken over Asia, and only people like within the project are really paying attention. The coin went from less than 1 cent, and rumors are abound of $1. Anyway, that coin is also, I believe they've applied for an ETF as well. If Pengu gets an ETF, that coin's going to like $3. I don't really know how to tell anyone that in a nicer way, but yeah, I feel like we're just kind of rolling up the mountain in a digital rock. I don't know what to call it, but every single coin seems up for grabs. So we'll see if another company announces something ton-like in some sort of way, but I feel like every company is kind of announcing some kind of an altcoin strategy, reserve, treasury thing, and yeah, we'll see what happens in 3 to, and I don't even give it 10 years, 3, 4, 5 years, we will have clear indications if any of these things actually worked out. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for this video, everyone. I do hope that you have all enjoyed. I hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, midnight, wherever you are, whatever time it might be. I do hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. Don't forget how early you are in this market, how much money there is to be made, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.